numbers. How we doing, Canyon Lake? It is 6:30, and this meeting is in session. Councilmember Smith, would you mind leading us in the invocation?
Absolutely. Please stand with me real quick. As always, we're going to honor the men and women who've made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. Please bear with me as we have a moment of silence. Thank you for that. Now in prayer, dear Heavenly Father, thank you once again for an incredible evening with the best people in the world, Canyon Lakers, Lord. We are so grateful to be up here to represent our community and hopefully do great things. Thank you for all that you give us, Lord, and all that you provide us. Let us be reminded of you in all that we do, and in your name, amen.
Amen. You could remain standing, and I'm actually going to ask Josh Strange to come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, would you conduct the roll call?
Mayor Pro Tem Castillo. Here. Councilmember Smith.
Here.
Councilmember Stieber.
Here.
Councilmember Welty.
Here.
Mayor Terry.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
I would request that the city attorney report out of closed session.
Item 1, no reportable action. Item 2, settlement authority was received by consensus. Item 3, settlement authority was received by consensus. And item 4, no reportable action.
Thank you very much. Exciting night. I'm now going to turn this over to Councilmember Smith, and he is going to be presenting our Citizen of the Month.
This one's a good one. I'm so happy to do this. Don Haggerty, can you please join me up here? And you're going to be joined by the entire council. This one's dear to my heart. Stand right over here, because this fine woman used to serve on our council and also the POA. But it was her dedication and her research that led us to where we are today with the idea of starting our own police department. So because of you and all the hard work, and I never forgot, it was about 2.5, 3 years ago, you gave me all the information, all the study at the country club, which you spent so much time on and so much energy, and you motivated me, you motivated this entire council to move forward. So it just makes sense. The month after we made the decision to move forward with our own police department, that we honor you, because it's good people like you and the dedication that you gave to the city, because we're doing these things because of that. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart on behalf of the mayor and the entire council. Of course. Here, I thank you for, she said, thank you for deciding to do it. Here, you get to say a couple things, because I know it was a journey for you.
Yeah. I spent 6 years on the POA board and saw how the problems that we had with the lack of enforcement and the insecurity that the people felt. So when I got on the city council, I started researching. I traveled to Victorville and met with the chief there. I met with the police chief in Long Beach, in Paris, and started constructing a plan, which they all assisted me with, for Canyon Lake. And the police force in Victorville, the police chief had been police chief of an area that had a lake similar to ours, and it was gated. A lot of similarities. So he was great help in helping me to plan this, and I'm so happy it's finally coming to fruition.
It's happening. Thank you so much. You're our pioneer.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Don.
Yes, it is.
Okay, before we move forward, the city attorney has an amendment to our closed session report.
Correct. The council will be going back into closed session and will report out at the next meeting.
All right. I'm now going to turn the meeting over to our Mayor Pro Tem Castillo and Councilmember Stieber to present our Student of the Month, correct? And our also
Student of the Year.
Student of the Year, and that would be Josh Strange.
Student of the Year, Josh Strange.
Woo!
And we're going to also honor our essay winner. But first, Josh Strange.
Come on up, Joshua. When I got sworn in, my first initiative was the LEUSD authentication, where I get to go recognize Student of the Months. And Josh was my first one back in January. And I tried to get Josh to come back multiple months since there to recognize him here at City Council. And I'm glad he waited because out of all the kids throughout Temescal, Josh also was received Student of the Year through the school district. So it is our honor to recognize Josh Strange, one of Lake Elsinore Valley Chamber of Commerce 2025 Students of the Year. Josh exemplifies academic excellence, strong character, and dedicated service to others, not only in the classroom but in his community. So we proudly present this recognition to Josh in honor of his achievements and leaderships. We know your journey is only just the beginning, and we are confident you will continue to inspire others and make Canyon Lake community proud. So appreciate it again, sir, and love to give you. And I'm going to hand it over to you to see if you'd like to recognize anyone to help you with these achievements.
I just like to thank my mom, my parents, my Lord and Savior. It's not me, it's him. It's not me, it's my mom, it's my whole family. Without them, I would be nothing, and that's it.
Well,
Love it.
congratulations.
Way to go.
We'll have you stand aside because I think council will probably join in. Thank you.
Okay, if I can have Gianna Masio come up. Did I say it right? Masio? Okay. So we are very proud to recognize you as this year's essay contest winner. Your words were inspiring, and you captured what it means to belong, connect, and lead. Her essay was titled, "What Does Community Mean to Me, and How Can I Create a Lasting Impact in My Local Neighborhood?" And she reflected on growing up in Canyon Lake and recalling events like Fiesta Day, the Garden Club gatherings, and lasting memories that she's created with her community. During the pandemic, Gianna helped organize a 4-H day camp, creating a space for kids to connect and thrive. And now through her work as a Riverside County 4-H ambassador, she is installing little libraries across neighborhoods to promote reading and bring people together. So you are inspiring. We loved your essay. It was a group decision. There was a lot of essays that were submitted. They were all amazing, but yours really stood out to us. As you prepare for college, you've told us that you're going to continue to instill the spirit of Canyon Lake wherever you go. Where are you going to go to college?
California State University, Long Beach.
And what are your goals when you get there?
My goals are to thrive in my psychology major and become a therapist to help people.
And then come back and live in Canyon Lake and bring
Dirtbags.
What is it? The Sharks. Okay.
the sharks. And after you're done, you're going to come back to Canyon Lake because we need people like you to live here and work in city government and be a therapist in the community or whatever it is that you feel continues your passion in your heart. So we want to congratulate Gianna for being a leader. And we have for you a plaque, but more importantly, we have a check. And the check is in here for you for $1,500 for your hard work. And we are very, very grateful that you did participate in our scholarship essay contest, because it is amazing for us to continue to read and kind of understand what Canyon Lake looks like from the outside in. And so again, thank you so much. Do you want to say anything?
Thank you. Yes, I will. Thank you to the community that I grew up in. I love Canyon Lake so much, and I'm so grateful to be a part of this community every day. And I appreciate the council members for coming to this decision. This means a lot to me, and I'll forever be thankful for my parents and my whole family. I appreciate this a lot, and thank you all again.
You're safe, Shadows. You see Santa Cruz.
All right, we will take a few. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Do you want to hold up your clock? Yeah. I'll hold for 10. 3, 2, 1. I know, right? Awesome. Okay. All right.
Josh, you want to join and we'll get the entire council?
Gentlemen. Scholars up here.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. And then take a few.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to presentations from the Canyon Lake Property Owners Association Board Vice President Greg Doherty.
It's your fault there's no quorum, Greg. It's your fault there's no quorum.
Took the words out of my mouth. Is this on? Words out of my mouth. As most of you probably know, we did not meet quorum. We were about 120 votes short this morning. So we pushed this out to Friday, where we will automatically meet quorum because the minimum drops to 1,200 votes, and we're well over that now. We're about 1,480. You can still vote up till Friday. If you have your electronic ballot in your inbox, you can still exercise that up until Friday morning at 9. If you have a paper ballot laying on your desk somewhere, you can drop that off at Bluebird Hall or up until 9 o'clock Friday morning at the lodge at the next meeting. It's been a great election season, and it's about to close. And we did a lot better, almost reaching quorum than we did last year, but we didn't quite make it. But my personal feeling is the electronic balloting next year just might get us there, which would be nice. E-bikes. I'm very proud of what the POA has done to this point on e-bikes, but there is no doubt that we have a ways to go. And I just want this council and the members and residents here tonight to know that we are working behind the scenes at things I can't tell you on the e-bike problem. And I hope to be able to announce, or the POA hopes to be able to announce to you guys very soon, some real progress on e-bikes. Last Tuesday at the open session board meeting, Ken Toller, our community patrol manager, was asked by me actually if a quota system existed for our community patrol officers, especially in the areas of speeding and stop signs, which the citations have been on the rise. There's no doubt about that. And because this had been brought up on social media, and it was kind of bothersome to me that someone would allege that the community patrol had quotas, and Ken's response was absolutely, positively not. They do not have quotas for citations for speeding or any other violation. Our member of the month was Jack Walmsley. I've heard of him called the father of the cityhood for Canyon Lake in the past. He, in the 90s, I wasn't here then, but in the 90s, my understanding is that he was really the man that got cityhood in place. So what a contribution. So we thanked him for that. We awarded service awards to 3 board members, one of which is here tonight, Jeff Bill, for their service the past couple of years. Jeff Bill, Joe Commission, and Alex Cook. Alex and Jeff are running again, as you probably well know, and Joe has decided to retire again. And we thank them all for their service. We did a reserve fund transfer, which is basically a left pocket, right pocket transfer in our reserve funds of $2.4 million. That was approved. Some project updates real quick. The closing of the POA offices on Saturday was met by some resistance by some people, understandably so, but it was a strategic move, very simply to try and save some labor costs. They extended the hours, the night hours, a couple of hours on, I think, Wednesday and Thursday or something like that to try and accommodate those folks after work. But understand that was a strategic move. It was thought about for some time, try and save some labor costs. We'll see how it works out, and if it doesn't work out, we can always go back to what we had before, some morning hours on Saturday. Phase 3 of the road and pavement program was approved, which means that just the project itself was approved, and it will go out to bid here very soon and probably get kicked off in the fall. The golf field lighting program is just about to kick off. The changeover to LEDs is going to happen. It's going to be great. There's 2 scoreboards that were also procured, and those have come in. They look great. I've seen them. They look really good. So it's some real nice, overdue to some extent, improvements at Golf Field. And several small projects at the Equestrian Center, largely maintenance problems, have been identified, and operations is getting on top of those. So my favorite day of the year in Canyon Lake is coming up in a week from Saturday, the weekend, the whole weekend actually, Fiesta Day. It's not Fiesta Hopper anymore. It's Fiesta Day. That term is returned, and it's a 2-day event. And closing out on Sunday is going to be a terrific country fest with 4 country and western bands at the what's that? Yeah, thank you. There's a parade on Saturday, which is just fantastic, and there'll be food and events at the Lodge, Holiday Harbor, and Sierra Park. So it's going to be great. Enjoy it. Thank you. Any questions? Thanks.
Thank you. Next up, Canyon Lake Fire Department Chief Latendress.
Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of council, city staff, Jeff Latendress, your fire chief, and I'm here to present our monthly statistics for the month of April. April, we responded to 98 incidents. It was our second busiest month this year thus far. Of those 98 incidents, we had 2 fire responses, 66 medical responses, 14 service calls, 9 good intents, 5 false alarms, and 2 that were not reported, for a total of the 98 responses. Our average response time, we improved overall. We had our turnout time, the time from when we received the alarm until we go en route, was 46 seconds. Our travel time, the time from when we leave the station till we arrive on scene, was 5 minutes 15 seconds, for a total overall response time on average of 6 minutes and 1 second. So a little bit better than the month of March. What again we like to look at though is what are we doing 90% of the time? 90% of the time our turnout time was 1 minute 12 seconds. Our travel time was 7 minutes and 25 seconds for an overall response time of 8 minutes and 11 seconds. So again, our response times on both categories had improved from last month. Automatic and mutual aid given during the month of April, we responded to 12 incidents outside the city. 10 were in the Lake Elsinore zip code, 0 in Menifee, and 0 in Good Hope, 2 in Menifee. So thus far this year, we've responded 30 times outside the city, 25 in Lake Elsinore, and 5 in Menifee, and we're not counting in that number the one response we had to the fires in Los Angeles County in January. Conversely, automatic or mutual aid received during the month of April, we received 6 calls for service from Riverside County CAL FIRE, and that makes it 30 times, so we're exactly equal with Riverside County in our mutual aid received and given during the month. I would like to point out last Saturday, we did have our 3rd annual open house I'd like to give a special shout out to the City of Canyon Lake, Elsinore Valley Municipal Water District, our Canyon Lake CERT team, our new Canyon Lake Neighborhood Watch Group, the Riverside County Sheriff's Department, the Clans, or the Canyon Lake Association of Men, the Canyon Lake Firefighters Association. Animal Friends of the Valley was a new person that was at our group sharing information on pets in the community. And we did have a face painter and a balloon artist at the event. We had some demonstrations from our firefighters. It was well attended. It was just a little warm that day, but we thank the community for their support. We also talked last month about our new kitchen. So there's some photos of our new kitchen. If you hadn't had a chance to see it yet, if you weren't at the open house, you could see what it looked like on the bottom left before and what it looks like now. And again, Captain O'Mara was recognized last month by the City Council for the Citizen of the Month for his work on this. This was a firefighter done project. All the labor and everything was done. Two of the individuals that worked with Captain O'Mara are here tonight with us, Engineer Nate Garcia and firefighter paramedic John Sassy. So their work was instrumental in really turning this into a turnkey place that they are proud to eat in. I also want to point out during the month of April, all of our firefighters went and spent 8 hours up in the area of Poppet Flats, just below Pine Cove, up in the San Jacinto Mountains. And they did wildland training with multiple agencies from Riverside County. It was a good experience and exposure for our personnel. We took our Type 6 wildland engine up there and got some very good training from CAL FIRE and our neighboring departments. And I also want to introduce our new office assistant who started on April 28th, Yvette Soto, who previously worked for the City of Hawthorne, the City of Culver City, and the City of Murrieta. I'd like to point out she's a Canyon Lake resident, and she's been with us for about 2.5, 3 weeks now, and she's just working out perfect and happy to be a member of our team, so we welcome her. And then that concludes my presentation. We also, during the month of April, though, we participated for 3 days at the March Air Force Air Show, where we assisted with the staffing for fire protection during the air show. It was a great event for us, and I'm available for any questions, should you have any.
Great job, Chief. Dr. Tricia Thompson from the Lake Elsinore Unified School District. Thank you for being here.
My teacher voice didn't carry? Okay. All right. So I'm here tonight to talk a little bit about what we did. It was now 2 weeks ago now. We did host the Every 15 Minutes program at Lakeside High School. If you've ever heard of the Every 15 Minutes program, it's been around a very long time, very impactful for students. It's a way to educate students regarding the dangers of drunk and impaired driving. And so our students went through a wide program that's involved with CHP. We use CAL FIRE, RSO, a lot of different agencies are involved. It's a grant that you apply for, and your school site does most of the work to put it on. It's incredibly impactful. The students, all through the morning that Thursday, every 15 minutes, a student was pulled from class by the Grim Reaper, which is like their way of showing, and so has passed away, and so has passed away. At one point, juniors and seniors go outside and they witness a full, a mock car crash scene, along with students that have been put makeup on, all the things. All emergency personnel are out there, and the entire thing is reenacted in front of students. And then the following day, the students that are involved end up going that night to visit Robert Presley Detention Center. There is a whole host of things done with CHP, and they have no access to their phones for 24 hours. So they don't have any access to their parents. The next day, we have a full funeral in front of the entire junior and senior class, where the parents of the students that passed during the accident explain how they feel having lost their student. And then we have an actual student, a parent there that lost their child a few years ago to a drunk driving accident. To say that it was impactful to students is an understatement. And so we are really, really proud of Lakeside for taking this on. And it's something that we are going to try and bring back up so that our high schools can rotate this program through the next couple of years. We know that students often at the teenage years feel invincible, and it's important to remind them that life is very fragile and the choices that we make have serious consequences. So we're very excited. Thank you, Mayor Terry, for coming to our event. It was amazing. So we're very excited. We're super proud of our staff for taking this on. It's a lot of work. So we just want to let you know about it. Yeah.
Was a terrific event. You had about 200 students, your juniors and your seniors, correct?
It was probably about 4. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of students out there. Yeah.
To tell you the type of impact that the scene had, I've never seen 400 kids so quiet. There was no disruption, no one was screwing around, and I must say it was very impactful. And you also released a video, correct?
We did. And there's a lot of videos. Part of the grant is that you are required to do professional videography of the event so that it can be used across your campuses and in the community. And so we do have a video of it. I shared it with you, but I can share with you.
Yeah, I was thinking perhaps city manager and Maddie, we could share that on our website. I'll go ahead and forward it to you. Mm-hmm. It's highly impactful, takes you from the accident scene to the hospital, to the notification, all the way to the court date. And it's all very realistic, and I just commend you so much for the great work that you guys are doing. Thank you so much.
The Lakeside team, but yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Well, tonight just keeps getting better and better. Getting started a little late, but better late than never. In the 2 years that I have sat here on council, I have become familiar with the many nonprofit groups within Riverside County. And you start spending time with each one of them, and you realize very quickly the great work they do, from children to adults, and what great work they do for our community as a resource. And so what we're going to be doing each month at our city council meeting is we're going to be highlighting one of these groups. And tonight I am honored to introduce Mayor Pro Tem Castillo and her foundation, CLEAR.
I along with Council Member Smith,
that's correct.
We are board members of the CLEAR Foundation, which stands for Canyon Lake Enrichment Activities and Recreation Foundation. This was founded, I think, 3 years ago, on the premise that we have a really awesome lake. We have no lifeguards. We have no real boating education or water safety education. So our thought process was, we have a lot of children in the lake who could benefit from education, and whether it be water stewardship, lake conservation, those kinds of things. So with that in mind, we started CLEAR. It is a 501c3 nonprofit. You have a clicker, Mike? And so just kind of as an overview, the goal is children outside doing things that could make them good stewards of our climate and our immediate environment. And so we started the foundation. And, sorry, I'm trying to mess with this. I'm going backwards. Some of the things that we thought were important were not only just awareness, but team building and good judgment. And so we've done a couple of events, primarily outdoors events. We did partner with the Wakeboard and Water Ski Club to do a 3-day camp 2 summers ago. But the biggest ticket item for the CLEAR Foundation over the last few years, I will figure out the clicker, is our partnership with California State Parks and the Junior Lifeguard Program. So for the last 3 years, we have partnered with the state parks and specifically state recreation area, Lake Paris. Ultimately, our goal was to bring lifeguards to Canyon Lake There are some issues with that in terms of the program that they run and constraints on our lake. For example, they do sailing. We don't really have a ton of wind. They have jet skis. We don't really have access to that. So what we ended up doing was partnering with the state parks and bringing Canyon Lake kids to that state recreation area, which really is about a 45-minute drive both ways. So it is a true day camp experience. No one is at camp on our lake and then just can like walk home and leave the program. So they do get picked up from the city hall. They get bused over to the state park. They are there from approximately 9 to 3 for 2 weeks, and then they get bused back. The most exciting part about this year is that Maddie Gonzalez, our amazing city employee, has negotiated a partnership with Lake Elsinore School District for that bus transportation. So previously, the city has sponsored that bus fare, and now we are working together with our regional partner, which is great because we've had a lot of students who are not just Canyon Lakers who were from Wildemar or Lake Elsinore or Menifee getting dropped off in Canyon Lake for that transportation. So it's really servicing not just the kids in the gates, but around the local area as well. And the program is phenomenal. It is not a learn to swim program. These are actual lifeguards teaching these junior lifeguards, and the goal is ultimately for them to then work as lifeguards at the state recreation area. I am informed that lifeguards there, I think, make $25 an hour or something to that effect. They get paid to train, and a lot of them actually get preference if they do want to go on into state park law enforcement afterwards. So it's kind of a incubator program for the state parks for people to come in and work in that employment field. The tryouts are required. They have you either try out at Lake Paris, and for the last 3 years, we have worked with the POA to have a Canyon Lake tryout. The first year we did it in the lake and it was a little cold. Subsequently, the POA has let us use the pool in the morning on a Sunday for those tryouts. The tryouts are a requirement of swimming 100 yards without stopping in under 3 minutes and treading water for continuous 2 minutes. And it does test competency because, again, they want them to actually be able to do all the rigorous requirements of junior lifeguards. What's great about the program is they get there in the morning, they pick up trash, they do what's called a vitamin, which is a workout where they're running on the beach and doing swimming, and then each day they have different programs. There's an Indian museum there, they have CAL FIRE come, they have RSO come, they teach CPR, they do all kinds of different things, and the program is phenomenal. My children have gone through it. If they weren't starting high school programs for this summer for sports, they would be in it again. But it is a great program that we have been able to facilitate Canyon Lake residents going, because I know in the summer it's difficult for working parents maybe to provide transportation or find something to do for 2 weeks for their kids. And so I do encourage you that if you have a minor who is from the age of 8 to 15 and a half, that they consider trying out for junior lifeguards and going part of the program. In order to go to the program through this clear facilitation, you would go on Reserve California and you would sign up. We have a Canyon Lake specific session because in the past we have been the predominant attendees. It's open to all of Riverside County, people from Paris and Moreno Valley, Riverside. But we get a big attendance from Canyon Lakers. So they have actually set up a Canyon Lake session this year. So you would go on Reserve California. The program this year is 2 weeks from July 21st through August 1st. You then would email clear your proof of registration, and then we in turn would send you a bus code of conduct. This is to make sure that your rider understands that there are rules on the bus. We are grateful for the partnership with Lake Elsinore School District. We do not want to have issues on the bus, so we have you sign a code of conduct for your rider because Writing is a privilege, not a right, and it is not included in the registration. There's no fee for it, but it's not a guarantee. We do have limited spots on the bus. I believe there are 60 spots, which is great because every year we've only had 40 and every year we've had a wait list. So I highly encourage you, if you are interested in this program, to go on Reserve California, register for that session, and then get a hold of Clear through, we have an email, or there is a link on every single Canyon Lake Facebook page and on the Clear Instagram and on the Clear Facebook to click on that link so that you can get your bus spot. In the past, when we've had other programs with Clear, when we did our wakeboard and water ski camp, we were honored to be able to go to the fire station and have lunch with the firefighters. We've done lunch with EVWMD. So if you are interested in Clear, again, it's a nonprofit. Everyone in it is a volunteer. We are grateful for donations. In the past, we have been able to sponsor attendance at the lifeguard camps for those individuals who may have an issue with the funding. I believe it's $260 for the 2-week camp, and there is a sibling discount, but reach out. It's obviously confidential, and we are happy to make sure that any Canyon Lake kid who wants to go to junior lifeguard camp is paid for.
And it's 5 days a week?
It is 5 days a week. It is Monday through Friday.
How many hours a day?
9 to 3. Pack a giant lunch, pack sunscreen, pack water. One day the John Wayne Foundation comes and gives everyone hats and sunscreen and talks about the dangers of skin cancer and the importance of sun protection, but pack sunscreen, pack water, pack a giant cooler of food. Anticipate exhausted children who fall asleep in their clothes because they're so tired. It's wonderful.
Have you noticed a transformation from when they try out to when they end that 2 weeks? They walk a little taller?
You know, they have a lot of discipline because of the exercise programs. There's competition involved. These children who I have seen who have attended more than 1 year look forward to seeing their lifeguard camp friends. They have stayed friends. My kids have all maintained those friendships. I've seen children that my son has gone to lifeguard camp with then go on to be lifeguards and start making really good money and have this for their resume. And can you imagine if I was an actual lifeguard? That's pretty cool, especially living in the Inland Empire, right? Because we're not near the beach. It's an amazing opportunity. They have, I know my youngest son, his confidence level in swimming has, it's a big deal. I'm a lifeguard. I can go out in Canyon Lake, no problem. Mom, I'm a lifeguard. Okay, Griff. and he is. So, who am I to argue with that? I don't know that any of them would be comfortable just saving someone's life, but now they are clued in on warning signs, making sure that if they see something that they know would be problematic to go and get someone as opposed to kind of freezing. They kind of snap into action based on training now. So it's an amazing program. I cannot say enough about it. And if anyone has questions, feel free to email me or call me. I'm happy to answer any kind of questions you want. But up to the age of 15 and a half, because at 16, they want you to actually be a lifeguard.
So we actually have about 120 graduates of Clear living here in Canyon Lake and living on a lake. And even though they're not a lifeguard, something could happen, and that's 120 people that might know what to do.
Sure. And, boating safety is a big deal. They have them on ski boats, and they fling them off with the, the big water preserver. I don't know what they're called. I had to buy one. I have one in my backyard now because my kids really wanted to, continue their training at home. But it's an amazing program. And I honestly, if you are looking for something for your kids to do in the summer that is educational, outdoorsy, and memories that they're going to absolutely treasure, I would absolutely suggest junior lifeguard camp.
Spots are limited.
Spots are limited. Spots are, I think they're accepting approximately 60 in that actual camp session, and we will fill a bus. There is no doubt we will fill a bus. The bus ride, I'm also told, is very fun to and from. It's a bonding thing.
Absolutely. Mayor Pro Tem Casey Castillo and Councilman Smith, thank you very, very much. I've seen the program. It's a great program. And thank you for being our first nonprofit spotlight.
Thank you. Thank you for highlighting this, because right now registration is open, so
Let's go.
let's do it.
Thank you very much. Right on to public comments. City Clerk, are there any public comments on the consent calendar or non-agenda items?
Mayor, we have no public comments tonight.
Okay. Would any of the city council members, would you like to have a consent calendar item pulled?
Yeah, I'll pull 6. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, excuse me, do we discuss number 6 or just approve the remaining portion of the consent calendar, correct?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to approve the remaining amount of the items on the consent calendar.
I'll second.
City Clerk, could we conduct a roll call vote?
Mayor Pro Tem Castillo? Aye. Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Stever?
Aye.
Councilmember Welty?
Aye.
Mayor Perry?
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, then we would be on to item number 6.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The reason I pulled this item is because of some of the discussion that has occurred within the community on why the city is buying real estate. And I heard this quite often too. Does that mean our dues are going up now because we're buying real estate? No, we don't have dues. This is the city. It's a little bit different, but Canyon Lake is one of the most unique cities in California, and our former councilwoman, Dawn Haggerty, who's here, knows how difficult it is to be able to look for tax revenue or to look for investments. About a few years ago, this city council made the decision to move forward with trying to buy up as many assets as possible for 2 reasons. One, for future income streams, but also to rely on bondable assets in case of a rainy day. And that's exactly what we've been trying to do. And it's because of the diligence of this council to not only work hard on their reserve funds, but also continue to make investments like this, that we're able to do things like start a fire department or start a police department. So I just wanted to clear the air on this item, Mr. Mayor, that it's very it's exciting to see the work that this council is doing to make sure that even though we don't have a Walmart or we don't have a Trader Joe's or any of these other stores that other cities get to rely on for tax revenue, we're still finding ways to bring income to the city. So just wanted to clear that up.
Can I make a comment on that?
Absolutely.
Part of the reason why this has been such a big deal is, like you said, we don't have necessarily the tax base, but we do have the ability to be creative in obtaining rental income, for example, and that's what this is. And so I, for one, am excited to add to our city's portfolio and make sure that we're keeping everything diverse and moving forward. No reason to be stagnant in Canyon Lake.
Absolutely. Agreed.
We would need then, I believe, a motion.
I would love to make it to move item number 6. This is adoption of resolution number 2025-20.
Second.
Any public comments?
We have no public comments.
Cool.
City Clerk, could we take a roll call vote?
Can we get a second, please?
A second.
He gave it, yeah.
Mayor Pro Tem Castillo? Aye. Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Stever?
Aye.
Councilmember Welty?
Aye.
Mayor Perry?
Aye.
Motion passes.
On to item number 8, presentation by our Finance Director, Terry Shea.
As he's getting ready, Mayor, if I may, Mayor Pro Tem and Council, I did ask Director Shea to give you an option, as this is really the same presentation that you went through last month. to get kind of a Cliff's Notes version of these are the changes as we've asked, or the full presentation. So I did want to give the opportunity for council to decide which way they would like this to go.
I'm in
Second.
Do I get a vote?
Cliff Notes.
Cliff Notes.
This is the first time people have been here when I presented because I'm usually last, so that's a little unusual. So, Your Honorable Mayor, Member City Council, what you have before you is, as City Manager said, is basically the same presentation. At the end of the budget hearing, Council made a recommendation to add the $7,500 for the Community Benefits Fund, and then we also mentioned that the City Attorney's cost of living increase wasn't in there, and so we added $7,500 for the community benefits and $2,664 for the cost of living for his retainer. So the budget is still balanced. We end up with about a little over 50,000 of revenues over expenses or expenditures. So that's about the only thing that really changed. I made some corrections. Staff went through and I corrected a few errors here and there and cleaned it up a little bit. That's really the only changes. So I'm open to any questions.
Any questions?
My only comment is for those in the audience or at home that would like to see the full presentation, I believe it is on our webpage, and you can go back and you can view the whole thing there. So if you feel you've missed anything, you really haven't, because it's available.
It does have the approved salary in here. And are you going to go over the final item for that, or is that part of the presentation too? The final resolution, so for the community benefits.
Yeah, we will highlight that as the last item.
Okay. All right. No questions then?
Any other questions?
So before you take a vote on that, one of the things that was asked, I believe it was Councilmember Welty asking about a community benefit item. We did take that direction from council. We added a $1,500 per council member amount. In that resolution, you will see a detail of what that can be spent on. It basically comes down to any nonprofit 501c3 that serves the city. So they don't have to be physically in the city, but they have to serve the city. It includes sports teams, so it could be Little League. It includes Lake Elsinore Unified School District, so it doesn't have to be physically in Canyon Lake, but serve Canyon Lake. So if you look at those items, the way this process would go is any council member may have an amount they would designate. That designated item would come to me. I'll verify that it meets the resolution as approved by council, and then basically sign it, and it moves forward. We'll keep a running tally. At any time, council members could say, look, I want to defer my $1,500 to another council member so that they have $3,000 to go to one area. It really is a $7,500 total community benefit, but each council member has a say, if you will, over $1,500 individually. If there are any questions on that, I'd be happy to answer those.
I have one, Mr. Mayor, if I may. Timeline. Is there a time at which it can't be used, maybe because of campaign reasons? Is there a time restrict on when those monies can be used for nonprofits?
No, there's going to be a couple of time restrictions. One, because we are a municipality, we would not be able to scramble and get it done June 30th at the end of the year. So we would reserve the month of June basically and say it needs to be done between now and May.
Perfect. That was my question.
That would be the easiest way to.
Easiest way,
yeah.
fiscal. I like that. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Any other questions? Madam Clerk, are there any public comments? Cards on this item?
Mayor, we have none.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Need a second?
I'll second.
So motion to take staff's recommendation?
Correct.
Okay. Mayor
Madam
Pro Tem
Clerk, you
Castillo?
want to go ahead?
Aye. Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Stieber?
Aye.
Councilmember Welty?
Aye.
Mayor Terry?
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right. Item number 9, we have a presentation by our Community Development Director, Mike Borja.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council. Staff is bringing forward the introduction and first reading of ordinance number 253, an ordinance of the City of Canyon Lake California, amending Chapter 12.04 of the Canyon Lake Municipal Code related to speed limits on Railroad Canyon Road. Some time ago, I want to say a few months ago, the city contracted with Wildan Engineering to conduct a speed survey of Railroad Canyon, basically assess the operating conditions for the purpose of establishing an enforceable speed limit. Some time ago back, and I believe in 2012, when the city widened Railroad Canyon Road, at that time, no formal speed survey was adopted at the completion of the project. So as such, it was desirable to conduct a survey of the speed to determine speed limits, adjustments to put in order for Railroad Canyon Road. So recently, the resurvey and the consulting traffic engineer that recommended retaining speed limits came at 45 miles an hour, similar to what we currently have outside right now. So staff is requests approving the recommended speed limit. The speed limit will help drivers select more of a speed that's safe and consistent with most other users. At the same time, too, while we were having this survey done for Railroad Canyon Road, we also saw that our current ordinance was a little bit out of place because it sort of highlighted Getz Road as being in our ordinance with the speed limit of 45. We had to clear that out because Getz Road is not in the city limits of Canyon Lake. It's actually in the city of Menifee. So part of having to make changes to our ordinance, we also made those corrections and remove anything related to Getz Road. That concludes my report. I'm open for any questions. I do have here Steve Liebring, who's the traffic engineer that works with Wildan Engineering, that can help answer some questions too.
We have any questions?
I'm just glad to get this done. We've had the 45-minute speed limit for a long time, but there was a question about our last speed survey, and it just made it, enforcement became difficult. And with this change, it'll allow us to really hold that road to a standard. I just want to thank the Sheriff's Department and the Menifee Police, because last year they did kind of flood the zone, and they hit the Elsinore piece of Railroad Canyon. Menifee hit their piece of Scott Road, and I believe it all the way went down to Domagomi Road. So in 1 or 2 days, they just kind of lit the street up. The number of accidents on those particular pieces of road is really, in my mind at least, above what should be happening. So, you know, seeing some presence, seeing some people pulled over, it will slow you down. And I have noticed, to be honest, in my own opinion, that Railroad Canyon has slowed down. And I'm glad for that, because we have had a lot of pedestrian deaths, the people crossing the street, and we've had other situations. And I just don't think that 5 or 10 miles an hour is worth it for the number of lives that we've seen on that corridor, all the way from Elsinore to Domagomi or Hemet. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, are there any public comment cards on this item?
Mayor, we have none.
There need a motion and a second to waive the full reading and introduce by title only ordinance number 253.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Madam Clerk, would you like to conduct a roll call vote?
Mayor Pro Tem Castillo? Aye. Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Stieber?
Aye.
Councilmember Welty?
Aye.
Mayor Terry?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Excellent. All right, on to committee and council reports. I'm going to start with Councilman Jeremy Smith.
Real quick, want to give a shout out to our fire association. They have an upcoming event, June 14th, I believe. Is that correct, or is it June 15th? It's that Saturday, in partnership with the POA is going to be, June 14th. And it's going to be a great event. If you haven't been, the association has a bunch of vendors that come out, and it's a great event for kids. And believe it or not, the POA is going to be partnering with them as well on the e-bike, some e-bike education, talk of having a moto out. So it's a great educational opportunity coming in the month of June. I can't believe June is next month. This is insane. This is crazy. 2 weeks. just a couple things, and I'll be quick. National Day of Prayer, for those of you that attended this year, thank you. And for those of you that contributed, I can't thank you enough. To the donors out there, you know who you are, who made this event actually happen. I know that Mayor Pro Tem Castillo is mad at me because I didn't ask her for a donation. I will make sure to do that next year. But I just want to say thank you so much to all of our donors that made it happen. And of course, all of our partners like the fire department and the sheriff's department. And of course, our speaker, Mr. Hestron, our DA, did an incredible job. Also want to give a shout out to our chief and team. Open house was a huge success. You guys absolutely killed it. It was awesome being able to hang out with my colleagues, Councilmember Stieber, and Mayor Pro Tem Mark Terry, and I think Dale showed up. I don't know if Casey was able to make it. I think she was at another event, but it was a great showing, good turnout, a lot going on. My kids were thrilled that there was face painting, and that was the highlight for them. And the last thing I want to give a shout out to our mayor. He's been putting on these conversations at the country club, and it takes a lot of work to get people to, I guess, I don't want to use the word, but I'm going to care. The fact that our mayor is working hard to get a senator here, to get a supervisor here. And I was able to attend that event last night at the country club. I know our POA director, Jeff Bill, was there as well. And just a big shout out to those that come out and participate and ask questions in local government. And I just want to say thank you, Mr. Mayor, for making that happen for our community. It's important that we continue to do this. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. To this end of the table, Councilman Josh Stieber.
First, want to thank all the mothers. Happy Mother's Day. I got to spend my weekend with my mother, and precious to see, every year go by, and how well, I know she's grateful how well I've shaped to be. So I wanted to start there, thanking all the mothers on Happy Mother's Day. Next on my regional Animal Friends of the Valley, JPA, we had our bi-yearly committee meeting. We had it at City of Marietta City Hall a couple weeks ago. I know it was discussion prior to me being on, but letting council know, committee did vote on updating our payment provisions. So we'll start paying our invoices in advance per each quarter. And we should be able to see what true ups might come from that October of every year. One more shout out to AFV. Also in June is their microchip month. And AFE will be providing microchips for half off. So if anyone out there doesn't have their animals chipped yet.
Do you know how much a chip is?
I believe it was $15.
Okay, I don't know. I was just curious.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've had mine.
Yeah, I think it's still very reasonable compared to else out there. I think it was $15.20. I apologize, didn't get the exact amount on that one. I've also got to, between just travels this past month, I got to peek into Cal City's Legislative Week and also SCAG's annual conference. So great seeing everyone. It's kind of, interesting hearing, might have a surplus in this state. That was the talk in Sacramento, but just running into everyone was great. For the community, not going to touch too on it because I think we're going to hear it from everyone. Superior Event Chief, the Canyon Lake Fire Department in their open house, even the weather, everything was good. And then a couple weeks ago, I got the experience to tour Elsinore Valley Municipal Water District, their district office and the plant over there, and then got to come up with to the dam. So I was greeted by Director Burke and General Manager Greg Thomas and some other staff, and really got to spend a half day with them and sitting up there, standing at the dam and looking at this picture in the background, but from the dam side, we are too blessed to be stressed where we live, and it is a real moment standing up there. But as of now, that concludes my message for this month.
All right, thank you. Councilman Welty.
Thank you. A couple things. One, Memorial Day is coming up. I ask everybody to be safe. The town can get somewhat filled up, not quite 4th of July filled up, but it gets pretty filled up. I always kind of have a standard, and that's if I won't invite people to come to my beach unless I'd be willing to call them in to come to my house. So I know we'd like to call in the whole football team and the whole baseball team and have them all come down to the beach, but the Memorial Day, it gets a little crowded. So just kind of be conscientious about your neighbors and fellow residents. The other thing is the clear presentation is great. We love the lifeguard service, but we also want to consider the fact that the POA has a number of summer programs for children. Jeff's out there. I think you would nod to say that your website is open and describes a lot of different events for the kids this summer. I know there's usually a tennis camp, a pickleball camp, a golf camp, sometimes there's a fishing camp. I think there's a long list. So, get your kids, at least when my son was much younger, we had the video game problem, and you have a great opportunity to get the kids out in the community to be active and to see what the Canyon Lake really provides. So please take advantage of the youth programs across the board. Want to encourage that. I did attend SCAG along with some of the other councilmen. Jeremy was there. Just kind of an overview. There's a lot of discussions about resiliencies after the fires. How do we make our houses more resilient? How do we make our landscaping more resilient? And where this kind of comes to home to me is about 2 weeks ago, somebody drove up to my house. He says, "I'm your home insurance inspector, and I'm going to need to take some pictures." And I've got to think he's looking as nice as he is and wanted to help me. I'm sure he's looking at what kind of vegetation I have around my house. So just to be aware that the vegetation could be an issue. I know the POA has some rules about planting. So the POA may need to be aware that people may want to cut down some trees, not because they don't love trees, but because their insurance company is giving them a little nudge saying, if you want to keep your insurance at some reasonable rate, then some of that vegetation is going to have to be trimmed back. So just to be aware of that. The other thing I did is I went out and visited an RCA property, that's the Riverside Conservation Authority. They took us out to the Winchester 700 Reed Valley property. It was quite a day as we hiked around. The first thing he told us was there was rattlesnakes everywhere. I immediately jumped behind two of the rangers because I wasn't going to lead the way because I don't have a great eye perception or sense of snakes. But it was a wonderful tour. So I serve on the RCA board, and a lot of it's about regulations, about how we spend money, about how we wish we didn't have to spend so much money. It kind of goes on and on and on. And it's just nice to make a whole change of view and go out and actually walk around and see what that's purchasing for us. So that was a great day. And I think that'll be it for today. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Casey Castillo.
Thank you. I just have a couple comments. I got to attend the Student of the Year for Lake Elsinore School District. It's funny because you asked me for pictures to highlight these kids. They're phenomenal.
Did you cry?
I didn't cry this time because I was in shock.
It's emotional.
These people, I mean, they're like... The accomplishments, the list of accomplishments is crazy because they're all super smart, super involved, super athletic, great human beings, love their families. I mean, role models for sure. So we usually fight over who gets to go, and I got to be lucky this year. So that was amazing. We have, it looks like a new business in the Canyon Lake Town Center, Station 2 Pizza. I have not been there yet, but I'm super excited about this new business that's taking over where Pizza was. And so I just want to encourage the community to show them some love and help them succeed. I want to pay a compliment to our Water District Board member, Darcy Burke. She's been super transparent with the fish issue in Canyon Lake. You know, Councilmember Smith has been doing meetings and videos, and I think that's the kind of information our citizens expect. And the transparency has been really refreshing. And so I wanted to pay you both compliments on that. I want to say good luck to everyone who's running for a position in the POA. I look forward to working with whoever gets elected. I think all the candidates are excellent choices. And I think, the next year is going to be great working together. And I finally want to thank the community for very objective discussion regarding moving forward with the police department. I've heard good, I've heard concern, but overwhelmingly I've heard a lot of support. And so I'm super enthusiastic. And again, Dawn, thank you so much for being a pioneer for us. And I remember 2018, you saying, here's all the research, and move forward with it, update it. And, Councilmember Smith and I really took that to heart. As a member of the Public Safety Ad Hoc Committee, we're pumped. And so I've had a lot of good feedback. I've had people reaching out saying, are you hiring yet? So, we're grateful for Canyon Lake's trust in the process. And so I wanted to say thank you for that.
The horrible thing about going last is you hear everyone else talk about the items that I had on my notes. We had Dr. Thompson speak in regards to every 15 minutes. I was honored to attend that. It's when you're there in person, even though it's not real, you got RSO Motors pulling up, you got CAL FIRE pulling up, you got AMR pulling up, you get to hear over the PA, the RSO speaking with CAL FIRE dispatch, the phone call from the actual accident, and I got to attend that with Jesse Legeo of Riverside Recovery Center right here in Lake Elsinore, and I am forever changed being present that day. And like I said, I will get this over to Maddie, and we will post the final video. If you have kids, I encourage you to share that with them. Like I said, I've never seen 400 students so quiet, absorbed, and engaged with what was going on. It was a big day. Thank you very much, Councilmember Smith, for speaking in regards to conversation. We have conversations and coffee with. Coffee with means that we're meeting with in the morning. It's when I get to see my good friend Jeff Bill, and I always look forward to that. But conversation with is when we're meeting in the evening, 6 p.m. And very honored that we have had the president of MSJC. Last month we had State Senator Kelly Cierto, and last night we were honored to have our county supervisor Karen Spiegel, who spent an hour and a half sitting down and talking to our residents. And I really do encourage you to get involved. We really like to make comments, to trash things. I'm giving you the opportunity to go directly to the source. And I think for those who do take advantage of that opportunity, it is great. Now I am going to talk about WRCOG, and I'm going to need a little help from some neighboring agencies, which I know that Councilmember Smith as well as Councilmember Dale are a part of, and that is vehicle miles traveled mitigation. How many people are familiar with vehicle miles traveled? All right, good. Well, it's Senate Bill SB 743, and it was implemented on July 1st, 2020. It requires that development projects to utilize vehicle miles traveled as a metric to determine its transportation impacts under the California Environmental Quality Act. And that last part right there, California Environmental Quality Act, tells you all you need to know. What is VMT and how does it affect projects? Well, currently in Riverside County, back up, it affects freeways, roadway projects here in Riverside County. And currently we have 12 freeway interchanges currently, scheduled to go, 27 roadway widening or extension projects. In other words, we have 39 infrastructure projects, would that be fair? Yeah. Here in Riverside County. And what is an infrastructure project, when we take a look at here, it's to get you to and from as easy as possible throughout Riverside County. And I'll give you an example of how great this is working. Marietta, for the past 12 years, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Councilmember Smith, for the past 12 years, the Keller Road interchange has been held up by state regulation, and in that 12 years, that cost has increased well over 200%. And, you know, they have met state regulation for over the last 12 years, and I would assume, being that this is July 1st, 2020, that they are also going to have to come up with a VMT mitigation report. Is that true? Absolutely, yep. Yeah. And if I bring up Keller, because currently if you have an emergency and you're driving one of your family members to Loma Linda, you have to go to what? Clinton Keith or McCall,
Yep.
and then come back. So I would argue that that's a public safety concern. So that's why they want to build this interchange. And for the last 12 years, it has just been, you know, stagnant as a result of state regulation. And is it true that Kaiser, at one point, was going to build also a medical facility? You can see the Kaiser, what would that be called? Like a
Clinic, I believe.
Actually, administrative building.
Yeah.
And they had plans to build a medical facility.
Yep.
They said until this interchange gets built, they're pulling out. So that means you go to Loma Linda, and right now, Loma Linda, you're waiting 8 to 10 hours just to get seen by a doctor. That's a long, long time. Now, you can get potential credit generating items, correct? And Councilmember Smith, I would ask you, as a city or a developer, can we provide transit passes to our residents?
No.
No. Funding for new transit stations? No. Bicycle lanes?
No.
No. How about gap funding for affordable housing?
Unfortunately, not here.
No. And for Councilmember Welty, can we go out as a developer or as a city, purchase land for habitat conservation?
Can the city do that? Not that I'm aware of.
No,
Okay.
not outside of the jurisdiction.
So really, the reason that I bring that up is because the agencies who can are RCTC, RTA, RCA, and WRCOG. And so what they were asking, or what they were recommending on the vehicle miles traveled mitigation program, if we collectively as agencies don't all take our expertise and share that with developers and cities within Riverside County, what would that cost you? $250,000? City manager, what would a mitigation survey?
Honestly, I don't even know. It depends on the size, the scope.
But it's just one more hoop that you have to jump through in order to get your project complete.
And it's never cheap, so start out at 150.
So it was a real easy decision that took us an hour and a half to come to. And the reason for that is we were confused and thinking that we were supporting AB 743, which every single one of us opposed AB 743. But I'm proud to say that we did go with the recommendation. Dale serves on RCA. Councilmember Smith serves on RTA and or RCA and RTA and RCTC, and I serve on WRCOG. And now cities, rather than going out and getting that survey, spending $250,000, can use our resources to get that work done. And I you know, like I said, it took an hour and a half to get there. It took almost as long tonight to talk to you about it. but I'm very, very proud to see that the organizations and the committees that we serve are really working in the best interest of the residents, the cities, and the developers within Riverside County. And with that, this is going to be an incredible evening.
Mr. Mayor, can I steal 30
yes.
seconds of your time?
Yes.
It's pretty cool because about 6:09 tonight, our former city manager, Chris Mann, took the interim role in the city of Wildemar. And I know Aaron's got a great relationship with him. So I just wanted to say congratulations, not just to our former city manager, Chris Mann, but to the council for making tough decisions over there. And I think they've got a good one with him. And it's going to be exciting to see the working relationship between our city manager and theirs. So I just wanted to give that shout out. Thanks for the time.
And both, by the way, they're also a council that we get along with
phenomenal
very,
people.
very well.
Phenomenal
Great council.
people.
Look forward to working with
We take
them.
credit for making him what he is today, right?
Yeah.
A lot of,
They'll
lot
make him
of-
better, though.
A lot of training.
With Aaron's help, they'll make him better.
With that being said, it's time for city manager comments.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I do have a couple for you. One, I just want to remind everybody about the city manager's newsletter. That is available. If you go to the website, go to the city manager portion, we're seeing kind of a trickle of people coming in. Like to see more individuals signing up for it. It really is meant for us to be able to communicate on the staff side of what's going on, what our council has us doing, what they have us getting into, what our projects are, some of the stats of what's going on, and it's really a very in-depth look at what your city staff are doing on behalf of the residents. Next, I really want to commend our fire chief and the fire department. One of the things I took away from the presentation the chief just had was really a 30 in, 30 out, and the fact that we have left the city to go help 30 times, they've come in to help 30 times. That just shows we're a partner. That there's nobody here that is not pulling their weight. And I really want to commend the chief and our department for being a partner. Riverside County Fire is a much larger agency, and I'm just so proud that you're assisting them just as much as they are you, chief. Last item, I want to thank Mike Borja. Many may not know this, but our air conditioner in here, both of them, 2 units, died within a couple of hours of each other. So I was stressing that it was going to be a hot day come this meeting, and not only did Mike find multiple quotes and deal with the complexities of prevailing wage and figuring out whose deal was the best, because some of those quotes would basically say, a unit, this many dollars, and so he really had to dig in to figure out what was the right one, and they got it done, I believe, Friday of last week. So we didn't skip a beat. We're ready for this meeting, and very appreciative for that. And with that, that is all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Well, I would like to thank all of you for sticking it out, especially our essay winner for staying for the entire meeting. Our next city council meeting will be held on June 11th, 2025, and this meeting is adjourned.
We're going to closed session, Mayor.
We are going into closed session.